Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Alchemy of Love podcast, where we are going to be diving into inner healing for healthy relationships. We're going to be talking about transforming the way that we connect, healing old wounds, understanding attachment styles, untangling codependent behavior that we may have developed as a result of childhood experiences, trauma bonds, toxic dynamics, masculine, feminine energy, healing from an imbalanced way of using feminine or masculine energy. We go deeper into metaphysics, soul contracts, psychic energy in your relationships, conscious communication. So let's begin with today's episode. We are back with another episode, and as you know, Ryan has started joining me for these episodes, but we also have another guest, Joshua. Yes. Introduce yourself.
I'm Joshua, and I am excited to contribute, to ask questions, and to share some of my insight into love and relationships.
That is what we talk about on this podcast, the Alchemy of Love. It's all about what we have gone through and how can we get to know ourselves better and the other better through love and alchemize certain things in our lives.
Indeed.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So, but basically, they are going to ask me some questions because I feel a lot of the questions when it comes to love or podcasters talking about love are from a feminine angle. So I wanted to let them ask the questions today. Who begins?
You want me to start?
Sure.
Okay, we'll start. We'll just go right into the questions. So mine are they come in like two parts. There's like two to each of the questions. So the first question is, what is the biggest complaint that women have about men that you feel is a problem being created by the women?
It is probably that a lot of women, and some of you may get a little mad, are not in tune with their inner masculine energy, and they are needing that constantly from the men in their life. But what you get then is that it becomes inverted. It becomes this pushy energy where you are basically chasing you have expectations or a certain behavior that you need from the men in your life, and that is making you less attractive to the men in your life, where they are going to perceive you as the masculine energy. And the thing is, I think all women have done this at some point, and then they think I need to do more of this and more for them to see what I need them to do. But you're only pushing them further away. And that is with everyone the thing. And I'm not saying I never do this or I never did this, but I've definitely started to see the pattern of, okay, when that happened with me in the past, and I went through a whole cocoon phase in 2023 where I said I'm going to now, whenever I feel this weird urge to want something from the other, I'm gonna see how I can find it within myself. And I started doing that, and I did that for about 6 months to 12 months. And then I started to realize that, I actually have all this that I was constantly trying to get from these men. I have this already. And so now that also influences how you interact with your family, with your friends. If you have a business or at work with your coworkers, you are going to just feel way calmer. And that anxious feeling that a lot of women have is not going to be there anymore. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And the second part to that is, what perspective or advice do you have for men who are walking on eggshells, who feel like they need to walk on eggshells, in quotes?
You're gonna want to fix what's happening, because you think maybe if I just know why this is happening, I can fix it. And the thing is, then for a lot of women, you're basically just gonna piss them off because they feel you need to just know why they're not, because you can energetically feel that she's not happy, so you walk on eggshells because you feel this. And then you want to actually fix it because you want to bridge this gap. You want to be like, okay, I feel that there's something and I need to fix this. But again, it's up to the women to fix this within themselves. And of course, in a way, there are certain things, of course, that a man will contribute and have to take responsibility for in the relationship. But if this is like, okay, if it like happens once, you could say, okay, I'm noticing this is not normal because this is not how we normally interact. But if it's a relationship where it has like gotten completely out of hand and you've been walking on eggshells for the past 6 months, then it's not up to you to fix it, because then you are stepping away from your own mission. And a lot of women are not realizing that they're dragging men out of their mission, basically. And because naturally men are going to want to achieve something because it's coming from within. And if a woman is healthy and balanced and right there next to him, that's gonna overflow onto the woman in his life. But if that is imbalanced, if one of these aspects is out of balance, like the woman is kind of like you feel it like a pulling energy. It's like, I need something from you, but I'm not going to tell you because you should just know. So you're just going to feel uncomfortable. Then you're going to be so consumed with trying to fix it that you're not even on your own path anymore. And the thing is, that's the worst thing you can do, is get off of your own path. So stay on your path, and she will either then see and naturally be magnetized to you being on your path, or it's just going to highlight the fact that you're not supposed to be together, is what I feel.
Love it. Perfect.
And it's all coming from my own experience too. And these things can also be inverted, where the woman is the one that is on the path and the man is acting like this and the woman is walking on eggshells. It's more about like a feminine and a masculine energy. But women, of course, are naturally going to be more embodied in their feminine energy, but it's like a yin yang. Like, it's always good to have a healthy masculine energy inside of you as a woman, and as a man, you need to be in touch with your feminine energy too, because otherwise it's just always going to be out of balance. Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback off of that, and I think it'll naturally go into my question here, but what I believe you're saying, Deborah, well, if we rewind, the male wants to fix things because I like to know where that came from. So at an early age, if this boy learned that what he was doing was causing his mother distress, then he learns to play within the box of what she accepts from him. So that's where the fix it comes, and which is a great illusion, because the men can fix a lot of the problems, can exert themselves to make things go away. But I think what you're saying is that the feminine sometimes doesn't want that. And so what would be advice for, like, when the man has the urge to fix it, what should he do instead?
I think in a lot of cases, the fixing happens from taking a step back. And that goes for both genders, really. But like,
which is the hardest thing to do when you're in it and you're triggered, or like, there's something happening.
And a lot of the traditional polarity coaches and relationship coaches, they're like, oh, masculine energy is this and only this, feminine energy is only this, and the man always needs to do this, and blah 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 blah. And a lot of that is true, a lot of that is definitely true, but there are cases where I can see where if I would have constantly outsourced my own problem solving to the men in my life, because they had an anxious attachment, perhaps subconsciously influencing them, they're like, I'm anxiously attached. If I can't fix things for you, then I don't feel your love. And of course, then, yeah, that man is going to feel appreciated and loved, but the source is anxiety and not harmony. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes the woman does need to really then step up in her own life and find her own inner balance, because otherwise it's going to become a pattern where the man becomes the fixer and the woman is constantly the damsel in distress. Where if he trusts her and sees her in her full potential, he can already see how she can solve this. And she cannot see this maybe. Mm. And the same with women. For men, because a lot of women want to mother the men that they are with, and that is something that a lot of women do. But then you are basically saying, oh, you are incapable. I need to forever take care of you, mm-hmm. which is, it's just the other end of the spectrum. It's either you're going to overly mother a man, or you're going to be the, oh, I can't do anything, you need to do everything for mm-hmm. me. The victim, or, oh, I don't understand, can you explain this to me? And then, because they think, oh, this is feminine energy, being helpless, and you need to save me, when that's not what that is. It's little girl energy. Mm-hmm. And you ultimately want the woman that you are with to be like her full potential. So sometimes the best way to help and fix is to let her find her own way and unconditionally be there and say, I know that you can do this, and I am here, and I have faith that you will find your way through this, kind of.
A term I like to use is to hold space. So mm-hmm. maybe the man could even ask questions, or just be there for her to help work through what she needs to work through.
Oh, and a good thing, actually, that that you could ask, whether it's your sister, a female best friend, your mom, your wife, your partner, is to basically ask, do you just want me to listen, or do you want me to offer solutions? Because sometimes women just need to process by just talking, and they don't really want you to be like, oh, do this, because then they're like, I didn't ask for help. Mm-hmm. And I probably do that sometimes. And it's like, sometimes they just need to feel that you are there.
Just to support.
And it's like, then they are aware that they have to find the solution and they're going to fix themselves, but they kind of need to process. And they are like, oh, you're being here while I process this. And that will then lead to them suddenly saying, I have it. And it's because you listened. Mm. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
You basically asked the next question that was in my list, the first part. But what I have for the second part is, what is the feeling you get when a man is mansplaining or trying to fix it, and you'd rather them ask questions or listen? What does it feel like in your body, and what is the process of you going through that?
I think if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have had a whole different answer. And I think it also depends on how comfortable you are as a woman with your intuition and just knowing yourself. But I think I'll explain for me personally, and then I'll explain what I think it would be like for other women that may have different attachment styles. Mm-hmm. But because I've gone through a lot of realizing that I had a very insecure attachment style, and I worked a lot on getting secure. So now, when you don't really do that, but I guess other guys do.
What? Yeah, I do that.
Sometimes,
I definitely do that.
I think what I do. The thing is, well, I'll explain the boring uncle theory. Yeah. For those that don't know the boring uncle theory, and I've never had to really apply the boring uncle theory with you. But there can be men, and they'll sit next to you and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll explain how this works, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you're at a Christmas party and you are like, oh my God, Uncle, I don't know what his name is.
It's Eddie, Uncle Eddie.
Uncle Eddie is boring the hell out of me. And so you don't want to be rude, so you don't want to be like, oh my God, and you're not going to be mad. You're not going to be like giving all this feedback. Oh my God, why are you think I'm stupid, blah, blah, blah. It's just, oh yeah, that's good. Okay, nice. Oh, that's good for you. Okay.
So it's
minimal
just like,
response, and you just, because it's not really affecting me. It's like, oh yeah, you have the need to like share all this with me. Awesome for you. Okay, good. Thanks. That's good for you. I'm glad that that works for you. But like in the past, I would have been offended. Like, you think I'm stupid. You think, but it would come from an insecurity of why is he doing this? And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with a man then feeling like they could be feeling intimidated by the woman and they feel they need to prove something. Or it could be that they feel like she's dumb or something, but it has nothing to do with the woman. She's not actually dumb. It has everything to do with how he sees women and how maybe his programming was, how he grew up, how his father spoke to women. And so I'm now seeing like, oh yeah, you need to do this. That's good for you. Talk about it, and I'm still gonna do things the way I do them.
So that applies to like being in conflict in partnership too. Like, it's just more of like a neutral kind of like, okay, I see what's happening. Like, okay. Yeah.
Is there a compassionate way for a woman to like break that pattern and address that with her partner without, saying like, I actually don't want to listen to this right now?
I think if you, like me and Ryan, we could probably say, like, if he would do this, I think I could, and this has happened, I think, where you, I'm trying to think of the example.
Oh,
you want me
to give one?
Yeah.
Missing Ian.
Oh yeah, where you feel like you have to give me all these tools to help me process this, and I am then in the moment like I am processing this, and I have my own way of doing this, but I see that he just needs to try to help me, and I'm understanding like, look, I get that you're doing this because you want to help me. And then I think I said something like, and I understand that you're trying to help me, but I need you to trust me that how I'm doing this is really working for me. And I think that's kind of what we said. And it's like, you understand that they love you. And that's what I started with. I know that you are doing this because you love me and because you want to see me happy. And that may work for you, and I'm really happy. And I'm just wanting to explain that this is how I do this. And I think that's what we kind of do.
Yeah, that's spot on.
Well, so it makes it harder that his intention is based in love, that you need to interrupt him or tell him that you don't need it that way, right?
And I think I also kind of was just waiting for like a quiet moment, because I could feel he needed to share this with me because that's how it works for him, which is, he's like, this could help you. Please let me help you.
Right.
And I said, okay, but see, if I do this, that's not going to work for me. And I explained why. And then I explained how it works for me. And I think the key is you can explain this in a compassionate way if you know that you are both willing to listen to each other, to really listen to each other. Because a lot of couples want to talk and they constantly just want the other person to listen. They're actually trying to just always talk. And that's the difference, I think. And it's with these men that are like not interested in even listening, that just want to talk. Then you have to do the boring uncle and be like, no. Okay, that is good for you, Uncle Eddie. I'm happy for you. Okay, and then you go talk to your cousin that's sitting there.
I'm glad it's Uncle Eddie and not Uncle Lenny, because Uncle Lenny is a little too...
That's a different uncle.
Also, I did not come up with this. This is actually a woman. Her name is �ฬ𝗲𝗯𝗿, and I like her content. She's not spiritual or anything, but she's very good at just diffusing conflict or just making things very simple for women that have a very insecure attachment style. She's like, why? She's basically like, you have stuff to do. You could be training a hamster. You could be crocheting. You have so much stuff that you could be learning a language. Instead, here you are, texting a guy 5-mile-long text messages about how he's not being nice to you when he's not gonna respond to these messages. So she's like, pour into yourself, and the more that you pour into yourself, you're going to be able to also put things in perspective and not project automatically, I guess, onto the other person. Yeah.
I need to look into hamster training. That might be something
That sounds fun.
I wanted to ask you something that you alluded to earlier that I think is very important, where it's this notion where a partner who feels like they're lacking looks to get fulfilled by the other person. And you said at a certain point in your journey, you spent, would you say 6 to 12 months giving that to yourself?
Yes.
So that is huge. How did you do that? Like, what does that mean?
I think I had to go through the complete opposite first, where I was with my ex-partner in Spain, and it was like 2 years of me just giving, and to everybody, and not getting anything back. Like, just not getting anything back, and that means financially, emotionally, and I had nothing left to give. And that's when I realized, I just came to this breaking point where I said, this is not normal. I cannot live like this in this relationship for years, because this is just, but I wasn't seeing how I could change it. And then I started finding other relationship coaches, like intuitive coaches and I started diving into attachment styles. And then I did an attachment style test, and I saw, oh my God, I have a completely disorganized attachment style. I think this is still recording, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, this is bad because I have a disorganized attachment style. And that was the alarm bell for me, like doing those tests, learning about it. Suddenly I realized, oh my God, like if I don't fix this is the foundation of all relationships, then every relationship that I now try to have with someone is going to be built on a shaky foundation. And I'm always going to go in the same pattern again. And then I was like, I have to now make myself a priority. And I just really started to take my energy back from the people and the places where I have been constantly giving. And that's when I was like, what do I like to do? What can I do? And in the beginning, if you have an anxious or an avoidant attachment style, you're going to have certain tendencies. Like if someone wants something from you, you're going to be like, oh, I can't do it because I'm packing my bags and booking a flight to never see you again. So, or the opposite, like, oh, you don't love me, but let me write you an hour-long text message for why you should love me. It's those two, and neither one is good. It's like, okay, how can the urge, basically what I did was when I got that feeling is like I went within to see what is the true origin of this. Why am I doing this? It is not really that you said that one thing that I could have just had a very neutral reaction to. I decided to just erase you out of my history. I don't know you anymore. Basically, it's like that's an exaggerated reaction. Why? And then I saw it's because I was afraid of them hurting me. And that's the avoidance, is like the moment someone opens up, a secure person's going to be able to open up in a similar capacity. I was like, oh my God, if I open up, you will hurt me. I will die. So I said, I can't feel like this. I have to have healthy coping skills. So I started seeing, what can I do that makes me feel happy? What more of the things that I enjoy that make me feel connected to me can I do? And I think a lot of women are expecting men to then fill up these gaps. But then I started reading a bunch of books, way more books, making time for just myself in nature, going outside, like doing all these things to feel safe in my body. And I even told a client once, like, if I feel the urge to text my boyfriend because I'm anxious and he's not responding, what do I do? And she likes online shopping. It's like open Amazon. You don't have to buy anything, just kind of look. And after 10 minutes, that anxiety is going to be gone because you're not putting all this energy over there. You're like just looking at clothes. You're looking at whatever it is that you like to look at online, and it's like, oh, okay. and then you're more neutral again. And so I started doing these things where, what did I do? I started looking up recipes. I started just looking up recipes. I would grab this book here. They can't see it, but there's a book. It's my favorite book. I would just start reading in this book. I would go make a cup of tea. I would just force myself, okay, and now you're going to walk outside for 10 minutes. Stuff like that. And you have to just really reprogram your mind. Okay.
And it's a process. That's why you said 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, and then I also then separated from that partner, and that also felt like a clean slate, where I was like, okay, I can now really focus on myself and focus on my work. And then I just poured all of this energy that I was like sending to other people in the stuff that I was passionate about. And I think as a woman, and especially when you have kids, but also before that, once you're in a relationship, you kind of evaporate into the relationship and you just become an extension of the partner. And I think that period gave me, that 6 to 12 months gave me the whole foundation to never let that happen again. Yes.
Yeah. So the thing that you were trying to get fulfilled in a man was when you're anxious that he could settle you.
Yes.
So you learned to either walk in nature or shop or look up recipes to do that for yourself.
But that was like a temporary solution.
Okay.
Because that's like people that smoke and then they start using those patches on their arm. It's like a bridge between, oh yeah, you don't need this anymore now. And because you're overriding subconscious programs that have been in your brain since childhood. And so now I'm at this point where I don't really get the urge to push Ryan away or to be anxious. And when something does trigger me, I don't need to go do all these things. Like I don't need to scroll on my phone or distract myself. I can just tell myself, because it has been basically reprogrammed with a healthy new nervous system, I can put it in perspective, and I'm not seeing it through the eyes of like a 6-year-old girl whose father is gone and who has no masculine figure of safety. Because that's what a lot of women, it's like the stuff that happened in childhood with men too, of course. What happened in childhood is what's going to determine your attachment style. And that is going to be how you interact with your friends, your family, your partner, your kids. Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah, sorry. I have a lot of follow-ups in that thread there.
Yeah, but that's good. I want the questions.
So I think a lot of men are, they compare themselves to other men and they think about physical protection and safety. And obviously, in being in a partnership, there can't be any sense of not being safe with that person. Like that, there's no potential they're going to harm you. But what about the aspect of them being able to protect you? Like physical safety and physical protection. How does that play into like the feeling of safety in a partnership?
I think most women subconsciously, and it's also biologically programmed, I think, are going to be wanting a man that feels safe and like they would protect them. But I don't think they're gonna just focus on what that looks like physically. Because for like in my case, I'm secure within myself. I feel safe within myself. I'm just going to want to be with someone that feels safe and secure within themselves, because then I know that they're also going to feel that way about me. They're going to want to extend that feeling. And in my case, I want to extend that feeling to you. But of course, men are just physically stronger than women. That is just a fact. Mostly. They are. So subconsciously, women are probably looking for that. But I think because we live in time, we're not in like caveman times anymore, that we have shifted and that women are now also looking subconsciously they're not like making bullet point lists of, oh yeah, this needs to be on there, but that they can recognize safety and protection in other ways, like how you speak to the people around you. They're not going to be consciously analyzing what you're saying, but in the back of their mind, they're going to see you are safe because you can control your temper. You know how to speak with people. You can communicate with people. And it's simple stuff like you go out to eat. How are you talking to the server? And are you a safe person? How do you talk to the lady at the register when you pay? They're picking up on all these things, and that is all adding to how safe they feel around you physically, I think. And it has nothing to do with you need to have all these muscles or whatever, or like the woman or the man needs to be taller than the woman, because there's tons of women that are with men that are shorter than them, or that are just where women are physically stronger. So that does occur. And these women are not, that's not a problem. Like the ones that I know, they're just gonna be feeling this, the safety feeling is gonna be an emotional safety. And that's always gonna be more important than physical safety, I think. And that's what I feel. And I think that's how other women feel too. If that helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I wonder if that's because there's just like less of a potential of physical altercation, and there's going to be obviously way more emotional stuff consistently having to deal with. Or like the second part to this is like, so a man who is comparing themselves to someone else who seems more strong, able to protect the woman, like what would you say to them? I guess, like, who feels like they're not manly enough because they don't have these muscles and they don't do these things, and they might not do martial arts and they might not do this other stuff. Like
I think that if you feel insecure and you feel that that is going to keep a healthy, secure woman from wanting to be with you, that is a fear you can throw out the window. Because, for instance, women that have an anxious attachment style, they may be gravitating more towards these types of men. But if you are looking for somebody that sees the safety that you have to offer, then a secure woman that is safe within herself is going to recognize that and see past the illusion. But it's also because you said not you, but like a man comparing themselves to another man. I think it is the idea that men have of what women are looking for, and it is not lining up with what women are actually looking for.
That's where I wanted to get to with that.
I think that's what I'm saying. Because a lot of the times, men have this idea of what they think is attractive to women, and it's not at all what women are attracted to.
Yeah, they think it's physical protection and strength and material providing.
The physical
material support.
I think the physical strength is only going to be attractive to a woman if she can override this fear. Because the society that we live in now, a lot of men are not aware of the fact that they are actually not very safe around women. That they speak in ways, behave in ways that make women feel uncomfortable, and they're not trying to. It's just what they saw from their fathers and their grandfathers. And a woman is then going to feel way safer with somebody that may not be as intimidating physically, and that is more gentle. I think. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so the woman feels safe when the man feels safe. Yeah. That gives her permission to be safe.
Yeah. And I think more and more women are realizing that attraction is not a physical thing. It is safety, emotional safety, and a calibrated, calm nervous system. If you can offer that to a woman, then that's what men should be competing about.
which is a mindfuck, because from a men's perspective, beauty and physical attraction is very important to
Material.
us. Like, one of the top ones.
The distortion of the beauty on that front. Yeah.
So that's why we think, oh, well, the feminine's interested in the same thing. But what you're saying is that's not the case.
And I think it's like the physical beauty will be there when you're connected with someone on that level, but you can skew yourself astray by just trying to look for that physical beauty.
Because that is not good. Because I did that. I ended up with a narcissist that was going to kill me. So that was
important.
That's how you get lured.
And that was not good, because he had like checked all the boxes and was like this very charming, attractive, but it was not at all safe. So then I was not at all attracted to that anymore, because I felt unsafe, because it was actually becoming dangerous, where that physical form that men think is the thing that we want was the thing that was pushing me away, because it was scaring me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you got to be able to wield the power that you have.
Yeah.
And so, final follow-up on that is like, what about material abundance and a home and a roof over the head and income coming in? Because there's obviously a need for support to be there in some way.
Yes.
But then we also skew it really far into, if you're mastered in abundance, then you have this huge house and this property and this money, and that's what then is like the master level. Like, that's what everybody's seeking to get to.
Now with social media, you'll see all these coaches and they have like all this luxurious stuff, and that's what they are using to promote, you could manifest this, or like a lot of these relationship coaches or masculinity coaches, this is how you can it's very black and white, and that is not what women are looking for. And there's a lot of these feminine energy coaches too that will say very drastic things that are not at all healthy. Like, if he doesn't want to do this or this for you, if he's not paying everything, then don't even bother. Don't even get to know him. And you can feel like, I want to get to know this man because I feel that they truly care about me. And this coach is saying, oh no, because he makes you pay for stuff sometimes. So that's definitely not good. And then you are going to listen to this advice, and it's manipulation. So a lot of these teachings are also manipulative, and you're trying to get something. And the thing is, if you're going to be with a woman and you plan on having a family, you do have to have, as a man, in the back of your head, okay, there's going to be a time where she's going to be mainly focused on the kids, where there's going to be maybe children, and then you're going to have to perhaps be doing more on the financial front. Or it's just that women sometimes, they just process things differently. For instance, you can have like a bunch of work, and you're gonna be, because in this masculine flow that you are in, it gives you energy, and you can get stuff done. And women just don't operate in the same way. Like, I know that if I have a day where I see 2 clients, I could not do that every day, because it takes so much out of me, and I would need more time to recharge. But I think you have to just keep in the back of your mind communication. What is the intentions? Because there could be a couple where the man wants to pay for everything. He insists on paying for everything, but it's actually manipulation, because he's controlling her financially. If he can control her financially, he can control who she sees, what she does, where she goes. So, and that was the situation with me. In the first marriage, I basically didn't have my own money really until I started kind of making money on the side and watching other people's kids and stuff. But then there's a situation where 2 people can be together, and like with me in Spain, where I was doing everything, where the man had no intention of doing anything, because we were in this completely inverted polarity, where he was like, oh, you are just doing everything. I can lean back because you are doing everything. And then there's a situation where both people are doing their best, but where the man will maybe make more money. But the woman is not just like, oh yeah, you do everything for me, I'm not doing anything. Where she's also doing her best, but she may be bringing in less financially, but there's other aspects in the relationship where she is devoting her time to, like where it's just the energy that she brings into the relationship is fueling the man to then also generate more of that abundance. And I think that's kind of what we are also doing. I make less than you, and I'm still devoted to my work, but I'm very devoted to also really being present for you. And that is like, it's not a chore. I'm just doing this because it's for us. I see everything we do is for us. And that's why I think if you just have communication and you are together in a very conscious way, and even if the roles would have been reversed, if I would have been making more and I see that you have drive, you are doing your best, that could perfectly work. But it didn't work in Spain because the partner that I was with had no interest in contributing or helping me in that way. It's all about collaboration. And that's why these rules, these black and white rules of, oh, if a man isn't willing to fully provide you, don't even go out with him, don't go on a date with him. It's like you are now throwing away maybe a really good relationship because you hear this from some coach. Yeah. Perfect. I feel like my answers are always very long.
No, it's great. On to you, my friend, if you have any more.
I want to, I think, make the connection between like the last two threads that we just had, because there is one, where the protection from the man is actually kind of follows the like where the energy of the feminine needs to be. So if she needs to work more or work less, I suppose, like you mentioned kids, right? So focus on the kids. It's her action and desire to do that, and maybe even her motherhood instincts. And so therefore the man steps up in other ways, and that gives the protection for her to feel like she can live the life that, like whatever life that she wants to live. And then that's how it gets synchronous, is that there's this agreement. And that's it, in this new age spirituality, that's a little bit different from the old, like it's the feminine leading, basically, right? So the masculine's protection comes as a following, which is very, very interesting. It's not leading from the front protection.
Definitely. And I think that it's so much more effortless than we realize, because if I'm devoted to my inner feminine, that's what she's leading with. So it's not like I know everything that she wants and everything she sees, but I'm tuned into that frequency. So it's like before we even met each other, I was preparing to meet her because I was devoted to my inner feminine.
Right.
And that was the compass. And so it was like I was already getting insight from her, and that because I was willing to listen, then that's what created safety now.
And we always know the external mirrors the internal. So once you did that internally, then the feminine situation showed up for you. And your devotion turned from your own inner feminine to her, which is beautiful. And that's how it works. And then you know how to protect it because you've done that for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's what I did too, because during that time on my own, it's not that I was in a place of resentment, like, I don't need a man, like, not like that. It's like, I feel complete without a man. And it's like, I was so tuned in and felt so safe with my own decision-making skills and just self-soothing ability to completely just bring myself back to a state of harmony, that I said, if now I meet a man, he needs to be equal to how I feel on my own. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Then I'm not going to do it. And that's the thing that we all want to get to. And we think we need to find it in this other person.
Well, what I see is when we think it's from the other person, there's like 100% energy that you're both sharing. When you come together as 200%, it's not even 200%. It's like exponentially. Like it just makes it so much better in a way that you can't even really explain.
Do you have any leftover questions?
I think
I have one.
Yeah.
Which is like you brought up how these teachings can become manipulative.
Yeah.
So, we kind of talked about how men can lure and use money to control things. So what about a man attempting to discern a woman who's trying to be manipulative? Like, what perspective would you give to them that it's not just her working through her stuff and it's, you know, it's like the kind of the shared trauma experience, but they are intentionally trying to manipulate the man?
It's hard for me as a woman to answer that because I've never really manipulated a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not intentional.
But you're aware of the tricks that women use, that kind of like how they set that up.
I think a lot of it is that they think, and again, it's in a way, again, trying to mother a man, thinking, oh, you are just a little child, let me just tell you what you need to do. It's like trying to be the things that they want. So you're gonna get to know them really well, and you're gonna be interested in them. And men, in a healthy situation where the woman is actually truly open and just receiving the stuff that he's sharing, she's gonna be present with him. She's gonna be interested in him. So this man is gonna think, oh wow, this woman is so interested in all the stuff I'm saying, and she's like supporting me. I have this support system. But then they are gonna slowly start to use all of this to mold him and change him into who they want him to be. I think, kind of.
So it goes right back to the beginning of walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
It's like a person who's going to take advantage of that in a man and then intentionally use that.
And the thing is, for a lot of women that do that, I think it's coming from fear and not feeling connected to their own inner masculine. So they need to control this person and make sure that they are doing what they need to do, because if you can't be controlled, then they can't control themselves, so they need to control you. Yeah
That's what I was going to say. The mirror is that if there's a man that believes he may be being lured, then identify where he's allowing that in his own energy, because if he is being lured, then it is it's supposed to be happening that way, and it's the awareness of it that will melt the allurement, or be able to allow him to meet the scenario differently the next time and maybe confront it or speak his mind when it's happening.
Yes. Yeah. And I would say, in order to bring out the truth, to bring out the light, you are your radically authentic self through your heart, and devote yourself to yourself and your inner feminine, because that authentic self is going to shine so much light on the situation that the intentions are going to eventually come to the surface.
And you don't have to blame your partner for the person who's causing you the pain. You're going in internally and resolving that yourself. Back to that concept.
No victim mentality. Removing the victimhood, and that's what then allows you to be that authentic self.
Which is what you'll feel, though. You'll feel victimhood first.
Yes.
And it's just catching that, because you'll say, oh my gosh, I've been lured. It's her fault. She's luring me. Look at the things she's doing wrong. And as soon as you can't confront her to tell her to stop luring you, but the next time you feel lured, you can say, right, I feel like this is going on. We need to talk about this.
That's a funny image scenario. Stop luring me. You're luring me.
Yeah, because the women are not aware even this is happening.
Well, some of them are, though, and that's kind of what I was touching on too. Some of them are very aware of what they're doing. And I'm kind of wondering about that too, like, someone who knows what they're doing and they're intentionally stringing these guys along, just like a narcissistic man could pull a woman into an abusive relationship. The woman can create those types of environments too through their shadow selves.
Yeah, and it's all coming from a place of anxiousness.
Yep.
Within them.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe I have some questions for you now. Let me think. Yeah. Like what, and either one of you can answer.
So what happens when you ask really good questions of the feminine? She wants to like...
Yeah. What is the one thing that you have seen that women have trouble understanding that men wish they would understand?
You want to go?
Sure. Because I think it's obvious for me. It's just the pressure that we feel to, it's the providership, but even as we talked through that, I was like, well, you know, that's not even the type of providership we're looking for, but it's the feeling of the weight of what is expected and what happens if he fails. And just that burden, I don't think the feminine can understand, even if we shared it, but you know, there's a receiving that could happen, but it's just not felt by the feminine.
Yeah, I think that's probably the same thing. There's nothing really coming up for me besides that. Like the thing that comes up in that is like the awareness of the purity of intention behind the things, like what you were acknowledging. So yeah, that's, I think, what goes into that.
And the reason it's that way is because we can't usually go to the feminine to say that, because we just said that the feminine safety comes from the man's safety. So if the man is admitting he doesn't feel safe or can't do it, then well, what the fuck? And that's why men's groups are so important.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And the having the outlet of that,
because we can't go of all the beautiful interactions the relationship can have. That is like one that I don't know, maybe shouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
And that is actually one more traditional relationship and polarity teaching that I've come across that is true. Of course, there needs to be open communication, and the man should be able to tell the woman
anything.
Something like, okay, hey, I am feeling a little bit pressured, but if it becomes this thing, if I need to talk about this repeatedly, the woman can start to feel unsafe and like, oh, you don't have stuff on, I need to start fixing it. And then the woman is going to go into masculine mode and she's going to try to fix it. And then you get a whole inverted polarity, which is happening because you're not balanced within yourself, but also not balanced in the connection. And that is why for men it is important, I think, that they have other men. And for women it's also important to have other women if it's in a healthy way. And I can speak from experience. I've had other feminine friends that are very stuck in a toxic loop of shit talking about the men that they are with. And I've been put in Instagram groups with other friends of mine that would then complain about the men that they were with. And I then left the group, and then another friend of mine left the group, and we said, yeah, we are not available for these types of conversations because we are not feeling this way about men. And we don't want to feel this way about men. And you see this too with men that then go out to the bar and drink and complain about the wives. That's also not healthy.
Yo, ball and chain.
Yeah.
So it needs to be in an uplifting way that this happens. So yeah, let me think, because I have more questions. Yeah, I could ask more questions, but
These
okay.
are some of my favorite topics. I like talking about this stuff.
And this can also be like individually, of course, because every man also has different needs. But what is something, or like what do you expect from the woman that you are with when it comes to emotional support and just mental and emotional support? And it kind of connects in with the previous question of the weight that's on your shoulders. Like when you come home, like you both work from home, so that's not really, but you know what I mean, and your girlfriend or wife or partner is there, is there a need really for you to be able to share some of the weight with her? or is that not something you would rely on her for?
I think it's both. I think it depends. I think that for me, I always like talking about stuff, and whenever I talk about stuff, it seals it, it clears it, it helps things feel better. And so I think it's this very similar to what you said about women, is like asking if they just want you to listen or if they want your perspectives, and just the acknowledgement of the pressure, I think, is huge. Because that's like, I don't feel that at all in our relationship, because we talk about this all the time and you've acknowledged it. And so I think the same thing is like trusting and having faith that they can work through that, and that they are doing their best, and that they do have the ability to work through it without being mothered, I guess.
Yeah, and that is something that a lot of women, they are doing this without realizing. And once you have kids, it's really tempting to just start mothering everyone. And I even do it with you. Like, oh, you need light, and I'll start turning the light on. It's like, because your eyes are going to get bad. Oh, you already have glasses anyway, so what am I even doing? But yeah, and it's because and subconsciously that is also coming from this program that women have received of, you need to be equal to men, you need to be doing things, you need to be showing all these things, that you do all this stuff. But it's also coming from this place of, it's just naturally built into women to want to mother other people. But basically what I started doing is, when I would catch myself in the past with my ex, and I do it with you now because it's so natural, that when you have a problem, you are presented with a problem that you need to find a solution for. If I would go and, oh, let me do it for you, I know what to do, or I have an idea, and I'm just kind of cutting you off, I'm just completely emasculating you and turning you into a little boy. So instead, I see you have this problem, and I say, I have full faith in you that you are going to find the solution, and I'm here. If you want to talk about it, but I know that you're going to work your way through it, and you're going to find out, and I'm sure you're going to know what to do. And then I just let you find your solution, because it's not my job.
Yeah.
So that's what I really had to learn. And we make it so difficult. Women, we make it so difficult for ourselves. We give ourselves all these imaginary extra tasks that are not even ours. And my life has become so much calmer mentally when I stopped trying to solve everyone's stuff. What questions? Do you have any more questions, or are they all answered?
All of mine were answered. Do you have any more, Joshua?
I do not. I maybe have, I just want to round out a piece from that last answer if we could. Because I'm wondering if there's a difference between mothering and nurturing.
Yes.
Because nurturing is also a feminine quality, and you can nurture somebody without mothering them.
Yes, right? And that is a big aspect of feeling safe by men, is feeling the safety and nurturing. And I think that when there is like a nurturing given, when I'm feeling like I'll take it wrong, I'll take it as a mothering when it's actually nurturing, when I'm in a space of like feeling triggered or conflict, and it's like I don't need that right now, and that's definitely very connected to my personal trauma. But I think that the nurturing aspect is just as important as everything else that I was saying.
I'll give you an example of what that could look like: nurturing versus mothering. So imagine that I have a child. So, and I have a best friend, and both of them come to visit me. And my child, I'm cooking, and I'm telling her, here, you need to eat this, because you need to eat this. That's mothering. But if my friend comes over, I'm going to say, hey, do you want to eat this? I made this. It's here if you want this. So if I would be mothering you, I would say, you need to eat this because my way is the right way, because I need to mother you. And then if you would choose to do something else, I would be offended, and I would feel unsafe and feel like you would need to do this. Then it becomes mothering. But if I just cook and you're like, oh, I'm not really and this has happened, I'm not really hungry, I'm gonna be like, okay, it's here when you want it, it's just there, you can go get it.
That's a great example. And I think the abandonment wound is the thing that's tugged upon, which is why just saying something as simple as I am here is the nurturing without the mothering.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Like, okay, I'm listening, I got you, like I still support you. You're not solving the problem, but you're letting the man know that even in his insecurity or whatever he's going through, that you're not going to leave him because of that. And he'll step up to the plate and he'll solve it himself.
Yeah, and the thing is, as a woman, like, you don't have to make extra work for yourself, because if you take a step back and you kind of lean back and you are open, which means you're not angry, you're not resentful, you're not angry because they're not listening to you. You're saying, okay, I love you, I'm gonna be here crocheting a cat bed or something, or I'm training my hamster, I'm here if you need me. And if you're like, fine, and then you're like, okay then, and then you are like
passive aggressive,
taking your energy away, versus just taking a step back with your energy and being open. That's a whole different thing.
Just let it be easy. It could be easy.
Yeah. Because the man simultaneously wants like praise for being the lone wolf, like, I can do this on my own, but then like they also want the help of like the nurturing and the safety, I think, and the praise of like you, like it's like this desire for praise, but then also not wanting to be mothered.
It can
in that
be
praise.
Yeah, it can quickly become too like suffocating.
Yeah.
And it's like, then it becomes like I'm treating you like a child.
And you're enabling validation, basically. You're like, this person is down and they're feeling, and it's like, oh, you're so great, you're the best.
And
like,
then you're just gonna feel like
so then
a
someone's
baby.
enabling the validation aspect rather than just being present with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like wanting to fix negative emotions. Like, then I can see that you're like, hypothetically, you wake up and you're just not saying much because you don't feel good. And you're walking around, and if I'm secure within myself, I don't have to do anything. I can just be, and I don't have to feel guilty for feeling good. I can just be reading my book and doing my thing, and I just say, hey, good morning, and I can tell that you're not having a good day, and I just trust that you're gonna work through it. And then later, maybe in the evening, you're gonna tell me, hey, I had a bad day, this and this. Because if I am going to either be mad because I take it personally, or the opposite, I'm forcing you to talk to me, that's gonna make you feel even more like, now I can't process this in silence. I have to explain this, and I don't know even. I just don't feel good. And it's not about you, and then it becomes this Yep.
That feels good on my end. I don't have any other questions.
We keep going on and on, but this feels like a good ending point.
Definitely.
Yes, and we can always do another one.
Part
And
2 coming.
If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Bye bye.
Bye bye.